They walked into a trap disguised as peace, never imagining humanity had full firepower ready. Want to see how humans turned diplomacy into the deadliest weapon in the galaxy? Fascinated by the moment humanity revealed their true strength? Watch the full epic HFY story. Subscribe now to see more legendary human victories and unstoppable strategies. Alien scouts hovered silently above the human fleet, their sleek ships glinting under the distant sun. They expected chaos, fear, and frantic energy as the humans approached, something they could easily exploit, but instead, they found a calm that was almost unsettling. Humans moved in perfect formation, their ships aligned like a single organism, engines humming in a steady rhythm. There was no frantic signaling, no desperate maneuvers, nothing that suggested panic or unpreparedness. The aliens had expected weakness, but what they saw instead was quiet discipline, a controlled confidence that did not fit their expectations. The alien leaders watched from their command platform, exchanging nervous glances. "They show no signs of fear," one muttered, his voice barely above a whisper. Another scoffed, trying to mask unease with laughter. "Perhaps they are just slow to react or ignorant of the stakes." But deep inside, a creeping sense of caution began to take hold. Even the youngest officers, who had never seen humans up close, noticed the eerie perfection of their approach. Every ship kept exact distance from its neighbor. Every drone patrolled predictable paths, yet the pattern itself felt too precise, almost intimidating. Communication signals from the human fleet were calm and measured, polite acknowledgments that carried no hint of hostility. They transmitted peaceful greetings, status updates, and carefully constructed data packets, each one designed to appear non-threatening. The aliens intercepted these signals and analyzed them repeatedly, trying to find hidden intentions, but every scan returned results that suggested order, courtesy, and apparent cooperation. The humans spoke as though they were aware of the aliens' expectations, almost anticipating the creatures' thoughts. Below the surface of this calm, however, subtle signs hinted at preparation. The humans had raised shields quietly, not enough to draw attention, but enough to be ready. Drones moved slightly faster than needed, sensors adjusted with precision. Small weapon systems twitched almost imperceptibly, as if testing responsiveness. These small actions went unnoticed by most alien observers, dismissed as routine procedures, but in reality, they were deliberate. Small pulses of readiness that would become critical later. The aliens' overconfidence blinded them to these details, leaving them vulnerable. The Alien Council debated what this calm meant. Some believed it was a sign of peaceful intentions, a chance to form alliances without conflict. Others suggested it was arrogance, a lack of understanding of alien power. The Council's discussions grew heated, but none could agree. The humans remained silent observers of these debates, their calm demeanor unchanged. Their faces, when visible in docking areas, showed polite curiosity, never revealing the true scale of the fleet behind them or the hidden firepower in their ships. Every step of the human approach seemed designed to manipulate perception. The aliens, trained to detect aggression and prepare for battle, found themselves struggling to read the humans. Every tactic and protocol that worked against other species failed here. The humans, patience and precision were alien concepts, almost unnerving in their effectiveness. They did not rush, they did not show fear, and they did not provoke. And this very restraint caused the alien observers to underestimate them. As the human fleet drew closer to the designated neutral zone, small alarms flickered across alien consoles, subtle but persistent. Something about the synchronized movement, the even pacing, and the perfect alignment triggered instinctive caution in experienced alien pilots. Yet the Council dismissed the warnings, interpreting them as overcautious reactions from a few nervous officers. The majority believed the humans were just disciplined and polite, missing the quiet strength underlying every motion. The final approach brought the humans within visual range of the alien fleet. The glint of their hulls reflected the sunlight like calm waters. The engines emitted steady, soothing hums. Every formation shift was smooth, every drone path flawless. There was no chaos, no panic, no hasty maneuvers, only perfect, unsettling calm. The aliens, expecting weakness or fear, now faced a different threat. Patience, precision, and the illusion of harmlessness, a combination far more dangerous than open hostility. The calm of the human fleet was not emptiness, it was strategy, confidence, and hidden strength wrapped in simplicity. Each alien observer felt it differently, some with awe, some with unease, but none fully understood it. They assumed peace where there was preparation, and in that assumption lay the first seeds of disaster. Every subtle movement, every measured action, was part of a silent plan that the aliens could not yet see. A calm that promised nothing, yet hinted at everything, ready to unfold in ways the galaxy had never witnessed. The alien leaders decided to organize a grand welcome for the human fleet, choosing a neutral zone that floated between the two systems. The area was adorned with ceremonial banners, holographic flags waving in the solar wind, and platforms built to accommodate formal greetings. The aliens wanted to show their strength and hospitality, hoping to impress the humans and gain an upper hand through apparent goodwill. As the humans approached, their ships glided smoothly into position, engines silent enough to seem almost respectful, yet every move was precise, measured, and perfectly timed. Human diplomats appeared on the viewing platforms, standing in calm, polite stances. Their faces held gentle smiles, their eyes attentive and observant. They bowed slightly and made gestures of greeting that seemed entirely sincere. Every movement was courteous, and every word was carefully chosen. The aliens, seeing this display, began to feel relief and even pride, believing their careful planning and display of power had won favor. They whispered among themselves that perhaps conquering or influencing humans would be easier than anticipated. The humans, however, were not showing weakness or fear. Their calm demeanor was deliberate, almost unnerving in its simplicity. They seemed patient, waiting for the aliens to make the first moves while carefully observing every reaction. Small gestures, such as the tilt of a head, the angle of a hand, or the way a ship hovered, carried subtle messages, and the humans' careful attention meant they noticed everything, from the alien command structure to the readiness of their fleets. The aliens continued to underestimate the humans, assuming that politeness equaled naivety. They opened docking bays, lowered minor defenses, and prepared ceremonial protocols, thinking it was a safe time to interact. Meanwhile, humans allowed every detail to be seen, using the apparent openness to gather intelligence. Their sensors quietly scanned alien ships, their drones mapped strategic positions, and every diplomat mentally logged data about leadership, weapon systems, and fleet coordination. The humans' friendliness was a perfect cover for preparation. Small gifts were presented, and humans responded with subtle exchanges of their own. They offered small technological trinkets and shared minor system schematics, all designed to appear as gestures of peace, but in reality, each action conveyed measured information. Every shared detail was balanced to gain insight while maintaining the image of harmlessness. The aliens, charmed by these exchanges, lowered their guard even further, convinced that humans desired cooperation above all. As negotiations began, humans listened carefully, asking questions that seemed polite but were deeply strategic. They noted patterns in alien responses, timing in communications, and areas where defenses were weakest. Every smile and nod was part of a larger observational strategy. The aliens interpreted these behaviors as simple human courtesy, completely blind to the hidden calculation in every interaction. The ceremony reached its peak when humans were invited to step onto the main platform, an honor meant to show trust. They did so without hesitation, moving with quiet confidence. Their calm presence radiated assurance and subtle authority. The aliens, expecting nervousness or signs of intimidation, were shocked to see perfect composure. The humans' discipline and quiet control made the alien leaders uneasy, though they did not yet realize why. Behind the scenes, human commanders coordinated silently, communicating with minimal signals that the aliens could not detect. Fleet movements, shield adjustments, and surveillance sweeps were all ongoing, even as diplomacy appeared to proceed. Every action reinforced the illusion of peace while preparing for rapid response if needed. The aliens remained oblivious, interpreting every sign of readiness as part of human courtesy. By the time the ceremony ended, the aliens had opened almost every pathway for interaction, including critical communication grids and docking bays. They believed they had successfully lured humans into a comfortable position, unaware that the calm and polite visitors had already mapped every vulnerability, measured every reaction, and calculated every potential threat. What appeared to be a moment of trust and cooperation was, in reality, a carefully orchestrated positioning for something far greater. The humans left the ceremonial platform with the same calm, polite demeanor. Every action taken during the welcome was a masterclass in subtle strategy. Their presence remained peaceful on the surface, yet beneath, every sense, every system, and every motion was prepared for precision. Observation, patience, and calculation formed the foundation of their plan, and the aliens, fully charmed and confident, had no idea that this peaceful welcome had already begun to tighten a silent, invisible net around them. Alien intelligence officers monitored the humans closely, scanning every ship, every signal, and every movement. They detected anomalies that suggested immense hidden firepower, advanced weapon systems, and an extraordinary level of coordination. Reports poured in, showing that human ships carried more than just diplomacy. They were bristling with technology capable of overwhelming entire fleets. The sensors picked up subtle energy fluctuations, concealed shield matrices, and small tactical drones hidden in areas thought empty. It was clear that the humans were prepared for far more than peaceful talks. Yet most of the council dismissed these warnings as exaggerations or paranoia. The lead analyst presented detailed simulations showing the potential devastation human weapons could cause if deployed. "They have more firepower than any species we've faced," he warned, his voice tinged with urgency. But the council, still basking in the perceived success of the ceremonial welcome, waved off the concern, claiming humans would never strike first. "They are too civilized, too polite," one commander argued. "They would never initiate an attack." The analysts tried again, pointing to unusual fleet formations, the readiness of hidden weapons, and the synchronization of energy readings. But their warnings fell on deaf ears. Junior officers, less confident in ignoring instinctive caution, felt a gnawing sense of unease. They noticed patterns that senior leaders chose to overlook. Small ships that remained at the edge of the formation, drones that circled in unusual trajectories, shields that flickered in a manner inconsistent with mere protocol. All of these were subtle, almost invisible to casual observers. Yet they hinted at careful preparation and tactical thinking. The humans were not naive or careless. They were deliberate, patient, and calculating. The Council's overconfidence blinded them to these obvious signs. They compared humans to other species, assuming predictable behavior. They thought that politeness meant weakness, diplomacy meant pacifism, and visible patience meant inexperience. None considered that humans might use these traits as tools, turning alien assumptions against them. Every report of readiness was rationalized away as standard procedure. Every unusual movement was dismissed as coincidence or minor adjustment. In reality, each small signal was a calculated step in a larger plan. Meanwhile, humans continued their quiet preparations, using the Council's dismissal of warnings to their advantage. They repositioned ships subtly, activated silent monitoring drones, and conducted micro-adjustments in shields and weapon systems. Every action was designed to remain unnoticed. Every adjustment hidden beneath the guise of normal operations. Even when alien sensors detected changes, humans had already masked them as routine or benign, creating a false sense of security. The Council debated once more, some members beginning to feel a twinge of doubt. "Perhaps we should reconsider," one admitted, but another responded sharply. "We've planned for centuries. We know the humans are civilized. They would not harm us first." The conversation ended without resolution, the majority ignoring the intelligence that suggested otherwise. This divided leadership only increased vulnerability, as no unified caution was enforced across the fleet. Human diplomats, fully aware of the intelligence reports being generated, continued to interact politely, sharing small, seemingly harmless pieces of information. They asked questions that appeared innocent, probing alien defenses and decision-making patterns. Every interaction reinforced the illusion of transparency and friendliness, while in reality, each answer, each gesture was logged, analyzed, and used to refine tactical readiness. The aliens, thinking themselves in control, remained unaware of the subtle intelligence gathering underway. The more the humans engaged in dialogue, the more the aliens assumed there was nothing to fear. "They are open, willing to cooperate, and clearly mean no harm," one officer remarked, completely missing that these very actions were part of a layered strategy. Every piece of data, humans appeared to offer voluntarily, helped them map weaknesses, predict responses, and measure fleet efficiency, all while maintaining the image of calm, courteous visitors. By the time the Council finally reviewed the reports again, the humans had completed most of their reconnaissance, collecting everything necessary to plan precise operations should conflict arise. The alien leaders remained oblivious, still believing that the humans' calm diplomacy equated to peaceful intentions. Their assumptions were the perfect shield behind which humans could prepare in full secrecy. Every human action, though subtle, had a purpose, and every alien dismissal strengthened their advantage. Humans did not rush, did not provoke, and did not reveal their full capabilities. Instead, they allowed alien overconfidence to guide their actions. Each report ignored, each warning dismissed, and each pattern rationalized away tightened the invisible grip humans had already placed. The Council's failure to heed intelligence left the aliens exposed, and the stage was now set for a revelation that would shatter every expectation. The humans' true power remained hidden, quiet, and ready, waiting for the precise moment to make itself known. Negotiations began with great ceremony, humans stepping forward with calm, measured steps. Their expressions polite, their voices soft but clear. Every word was chosen carefully, seeming to convey honesty and cooperation. Alien leaders listened intently, pleased with what they believed was a clear sign of trust. They assumed that the humans were eager to avoid conflict, and this belief gave them a sense of control. Humans nodded politely, occasionally pausing to observe, their eyes scanning the environment, noticing every gesture, every subtle change in alien posture or reaction. The humans presented gifts, small technological devices, and data modules, all appearing harmless, yet subtly showcasing their sophistication. Alien observers marveled at these offerings, believing them to be tokens of goodwill, unaware that each item also carried insights into human engineering. Their polite explanations of each gift seemed innocent. But humans measured reactions carefully, noting which items drew curiosity, which sparked concern, and which were ignored. Every smile, every tilt of the head, every soft comment was a signal that humans logged for later use. As discussions continued, humans asked questions that seemed casual but were deeply strategic. They inquired about alien fleet capabilities, communication protocols, and defensive measures, always framing their queries as curiosity or diplomacy. Alien leaders, proud of their transparency and eager to impress, answered openly, sharing technical details, troop numbers, and operational procedures. Completely unaware that this information was being memorized, scanned, and analyzed for tactical advantage. Humans maintained perfect composure, never showing surprise or urgency, leaving the aliens to believe the exchange was entirely safe. The humans? Calm presence had another effect. It lulled the aliens into lowering their defenses, shields were reduced slightly, communication channels were opened wider, and security patrols became less vigilant. All of these changes were subtle, almost imperceptible, but they shifted the balance of awareness in favor of humans. The aliens, focused on diplomacy and their own assumptions, failed to recognize that they were giving away their vulnerabilities piece by piece. Each gesture of openness by the aliens was a step deeper into a situation they did not yet understand. Humans also used the negotiations to observe alien behavior patterns, noting how quickly orders were issued, how leaders responded to unexpected questions, and how fleets adjusted to small changes. Every subtle hesitation or immediate action was recorded and interpreted, creating a mental map of strengths, weaknesses, and decision-making tendencies. By appearing cooperative, humans forced the aliens to reveal much more than they intended. The more the aliens believed in peaceful intentions, the more transparent they became, unknowingly handing humans the knowledge that could turn the tide if conflict erupted. At the same time, humans maintained their own readiness, shields quietly humming, tactical systems in silent standby, and drones patrolling in patterns designed to be unnoticeable. These movements were masked as routine maintenance or minor adjustments, ensuring that nothing alarming was detected. Every subtle deployment reinforced humans' ability to act instantly if needed, while maintaining the image of complete calm. Alien officers, seeing only tranquility and courtesy, were convinced the humans had no interest in confrontation, completely misreading the intent behind every action. The atmosphere seemed peaceful, even friendly. as humans and aliens exchanged words and gestures. But beneath the surface, humans were calculating, recording, and preparing. Each polite gesture concealed careful observation. Each smile or nod was a signal in a silent code understood only by humans. The aliens, feeling increasingly comfortable, began to relax their rules, allowing humans closer to strategic points, opening internal areas for tours and demonstrations, never suspecting that every move was part of a plan. By the end of the day, the aliens were convinced of humanity's peaceful intentions, proud of their ability to host such advanced visitors. They saw humans as respectful, disciplined, and courteous, entirely trustworthy. Yet, humans had already gathered all the information they needed: the layout of docking bays, security schedules, communication networks, and tactical response times. Every data point was collected quietly, without raising suspicion, ensuring that if conflict came, humans would have perfect knowledge of the alien systems. Humans exited each negotiation session with the same calm, polite demeanor, never revealing the depth of their preparation. Their patience and restraint created an illusion of vulnerability, but in reality, they were fully aware, fully ready, and fully in control of what the aliens believed to be a harmless interaction. Every step, every word, every gesture was part of a carefully crafted plan to gain information and readiness while keeping the aliens completely unaware of the true scale of human power. Even as the aliens celebrated what they thought was successful diplomacy, humans had subtly reshaped the battlefield in their favor. Knowledge and observation had been accumulated under the guise of courtesy, and the stage was being set for the moment when patience would transform into decisive action. The apparent peace of negotiations was, in truth, a carefully constructed front for complete strategic advantage, leaving aliens blissfully unaware of the trap forming right before their eyes. As the humans continued their stay in the neutral zone, every action they took seemed calm, polite, and cooperative. They moved through the alien facilities with measured steps, observing everything without making sudden movements. Their ships hovered near docking areas, engines steady, their crews quietly checking systems. Yet all of these movements were deliberate preparations disguised as ordinary procedures. Alien officers watched and assumed that humans were merely curious or respectful, completely unaware that each step was a calculated assessment of vulnerabilities and opportunities. Humans engaged in small acts of cooperation, offering to share minor technical knowledge, assist with repairs, or provide guidance on complex systems. Every gesture appeared helpful, friendly, and innocent, but in reality, they were carefully timed probes, allowing humans to gauge alien responses, identify weaknesses, and map critical points in infrastructure. Drones were deployed subtly, scanning areas under the guise of routine maintenance, while hidden sensors monitored energy flows, shield levels, and communication signals. The aliens noticed nothing unusual, interpreting these actions as standard courtesy. The humans' patience was remarkable, allowing the aliens to act naturally, to expose patterns and habits. Every schedule, every routine, every small adjustment made by the alien forces was noted and recorded. Humans observed how quickly commands were relayed, how fleets repositioned in response to minor signals, and how defense mechanisms were activated. All of this information was silently logged, creating a detailed understanding of the aliens' operational behaviors. The aliens, thinking themselves in a position of control, had no idea that their every predictable move was being studied. Even social interactions were used strategically. Humans smiled, nodded, and made small talk that seemed casual, but often carried subtle inquiries. Every answer they received was analyzed, every gesture of response carefully noted. This method allowed humans to gather data about alien leadership styles, communication hierarchies, and emotional tendencies. The aliens, seeing only polite curiosity, failed to realize that each social exchange was another step in a comprehensive reconnaissance plan. Meanwhile, humans maintained readiness in ways almost invisible. Shields adjusted minutely without notice. Tactical drones patrolling in paths that appeared routine but were strategically placed to detect anomalies. Energy grids were monitored continuously. Systems synchronized silently. Everything remained quiet and calm, giving no indication of potential threat. Yet the humans were fully prepared to respond instantly if the situation changed. Alien officers interpreted these precautions as minor technical procedures, never suspecting they were observing a force capable of overwhelming them. Humans also subtly tested alien responses, creating small disturbances or unusual requests to see how quickly defenses were adjusted. Each response was carefully recorded to understand priorities, reaction times, and command structures. The aliens, eager to show competence and maintain peace, complied without hesitation, unknowingly revealing patterns that could be exploited later. Every act of compliance reinforced humans' growing understanding of weaknesses, while appearing entirely benign. The more humans engaged in these seemingly simple interactions, the more comfortable the aliens became, opening more areas for observation, lowering alert levels, and assuming that these visitors posed no threat. Docking areas, communication nodes, and even strategic control rooms were gradually revealed under the guise of hospitality. The aliens' trust grew, and with it, their vulnerability. Humans' calm demeanor and willingness to cooperate created a perfect cover for detailed reconnaissance. Even as aliens celebrated what they thought was successful collaboration, humans had quietly mapped almost every critical system. Every gesture of goodwill, every offered hand, every polite suggestion had a hidden purpose. The human strategy was patience, observation, and subtle preparation, using the aliens' overconfidence against them. By never rushing, never showing urgency, and never revealing true intent, humans ensured that the aliens remained unaware of how much control they had already ceded. By the end of this period, humans had not only gathered essential intelligence, but had also established a sense of comfort among the aliens, making them feel that everything was safe and under control. They had transformed every act of cooperation into a tool for understanding, preparation, and silent advantage. What looked like peace and friendliness was, in reality, an intricate setup, a quiet tightening of strategic grip that left humans ready to act decisively at the precise moment. The aliens, fully charmed and convinced of humanity's goodwill, could not see that every step they took, every door they opened, and every system they exposed brought them closer to a position where they would be completely vulnerable. Humans' calm, measured, and seemingly cooperative behavior masked an extraordinary readiness and preparation, patience used as a weapon, observation as a tool, and subtle action as the foundation of a strategy that would soon reveal the full power of human precision. Suddenly, a signal from human command spread through the fleet, precise, silent, and perfectly timed. Alien leaders barely noticed at first, thinking it was routine communication. But the humans had already synchronized every system for immediate deployment. Shields flared to full power, energy grids shifted to battle mode, and tactical drones moved into positions that had been quietly pre-planned for weeks. The calm, polite demeanor vanished in an instant. Replaced by flawless coordination and deadly readiness, alien officers stared in disbelief, unable to comprehend the speed and precision of the transformation. In moments, humans revealed the true extent of their firepower. Orbital strike platforms hummed to life, energy weapons calibrated with pinpoint accuracy, and hidden artillery systems extended into positions no alien sensor had fully detected. Every ship, every drone, every subsystem operated in perfect harmony. A single gesture from human command activated thousands of units simultaneously, creating a web of defense and offense that enveloped the alien fleet. The creatures who had believed in an easy conquest now found themselves surrounded by overwhelming precision. The first alien attempts to respond were chaotic, their orders coming too slowly, their ships moving in confusion. Some tried to raise shields, but the humans had already mapped their frequencies, targeting weak points and disabling critical systems before defenses could stabilize. Communication channels were jammed selectively, preventing coherent coordination, and key command nodes were immediately threatened by concentrated strikes. Panic spread through the alien ranks as they realized they had underestimated humanity completely. Every assumption of control dissolved in seconds, replaced by the terrifying realization of human planning. Human strategy was elegant and ruthless, designed to disable rather than destroy unnecessarily. They targeted critical systems first, disabling alien weapon platforms and command centers, allowing the rest of their forces to maneuver without resistance. Every strike was calculated, ensuring maximum impact with minimal waste. Alien ships were forced into defensive formations that humans had predicted, effectively boxing them in. The aliens, trained for many forms of battle, had never encountered an opponent so patient, so precise, and so completely coordinated. Even as the aliens struggled, humans maintained calm, acting with a discipline that contrasted sharply with alien panic. Tactical drones flitted through gaps in defenses, repairing minor malfunctions in human ships, scanning for remaining threats, and relaying updates in real time. Orbital weapons fired simultaneously at multiple targets, leaving no room for alien retaliation. Every move seemed simple on the surface, but underneath was an orchestration of thousands of coordinated actions. Each human unit worked like part of a single organism. Every command executed with exact timing, leaving alien forces overwhelmed. The alien fleet's cohesion began to crumble, individual ships acting independently, some trying to flee, others attempting desperate attacks. None could match the humans' speed of thought and execution. Even their most experienced commanders found it impossible to coordinate effectively under the sudden, overwhelming pressure. Humans anticipated every maneuver, countered every move, and exploited every hesitation, turning what had seemed like polite visitors into a devastating, unstoppable force. From the command centers, humans observed everything with quiet efficiency. They adjusted firepower, repositioned forces, and monitored alien reactions continuously. Every human action was deliberate, maintaining control over the battlefield while conserving energy and resources. The aliens, realizing too late that they had walked willingly into a trap, were caught off guard not only by firepower, but by the strategy behind it. A calm, polite fleet had become a storm of precision and deadly efficiency, reshaping the battle instantly. Within minutes, the humans had neutralized key threats, isolated alien leaders, and forced the remaining forces into disarray. The initial appearance of peace had been nothing but a lure, a perfectly executed setup that left the aliens exposed at every turn. Every assumption about human weakness was shattered, replaced by fear and awe. The aliens who had prepared for negotiations and diplomacy were now facing overwhelming military brilliance, and there was no room for escape. Even in the midst of chaos, humans continued their controlled advance, striking only when necessary, avoiding unnecessary destruction. Their restraint made the operation even more terrifying, showing that humanity's power was not just in weapons, but in discipline, strategy, and perfect timing. Every step of the assault was planned and executed to maintain total control, turning the calm patience of previous days into unstoppable force. The trap had been set, and now it had sprung fully, revealing humanity's true might in a way no alien could have imagined. Human fleets moved with flawless precision, each ship following calculated paths, every maneuver perfectly timed. The aliens struggled to regroup, their formations broken, their command nodes compromised. Every attempt at counterattack was anticipated and neutralized. Humans exploited every hesitation, every misstep, turning chaos into advantage. Tactical strikes disabled alien communication hubs first, isolating units and preventing coordination. Then, human forces advanced systematically, targeting propulsion systems, energy cores, and weapon platforms with exacting accuracy. Alien fleets found themselves trapped, unable to respond effectively. The human strategy combined patience, observation, and decisive action. Every movement was synchronized across hundreds of ships, drones, and orbital weapons. While aliens scrambled to organize defenses, humans maintained calm. Their attacks were precise, causing maximum disruption with minimal unnecessary destruction. Alien ships, confused and overwhelmed, attempted desperate maneuvers, but every move had been predicted and countered. Even elite alien commanders could not match the humans' ability to anticipate reactions. Every strike reinforced human dominance, showcasing strategy and adaptability over sheer numbers. Human drones moved like shadows, entering blind spots and monitoring alien movements. Every energy fluctuation, every shield adjustment, and every weapon calibration was recorded in real time. This allowed humans to adapt immediately, adjusting tactics on the fly, while aliens could barely process the rapid changes. Orbital strikes hit targets simultaneously from multiple directions, leaving alien defenses fragmented. Each attack was calculated to disable priority systems first, ensuring that remaining forces could not organize effective resistance. The aliens realized that every assumption of safety they had held was completely wrong. Communication among human units was minimal but precise. Signals were efficient, encrypted, and instantaneous, allowing coordinated action without revealing plans to the enemy. Even as the battlefield became chaotic for aliens, humans acted as a single organism, every component knowing exactly what to do. The precision and discipline of human forces created a terrifying effect. Alien crews began to panic, and morale dropped sharply. Leaders shouted orders that could not be executed, and confusion spread like wildfire. Each failed command left ships more vulnerable, each hesitation exploited instantly by human forces. Human strikes were not random or reckless. Every action had a purpose. Every disabled alien ship or system was part of a larger plan to control the battlefield completely. Humans focused on isolating critical points, cutting off reinforcements, and creating choke points where alien forces could be contained. Even as destruction unfolded, humans maintained a calm demeanor. Their restraint made the assault even more unnerving, showing that they were not driven by rage or desperation, but by perfect calculation. Alien forces could only react, never initiate, completely outmatched in both strategy and execution. By mid-battle, humans had effectively divided alien fleets, isolating key ships and creating zones of control. Every alien maneuver was met with a countermeasure before it could succeed. Every retreating ship was corralled, every attempt to regroup neutralized. Humans used both technological superiority and tactical intelligence to dominate. The aliens had underestimated patience, observation, and planning, realizing too late that these traits gave humans overwhelming advantage. Even those who survived initial strikes were forced into positions where they could do little but await the next move. The battlefield became a testament to human ingenuity and precision. Every strike, every maneuver, every defensive adjustment was executed with near perfection. The aliens had believed in chaotic confrontation and intimidation, but humans had turned patience into a weapon, calm into strategy, and observation into power. Every move demonstrated not just firepower, but understanding of enemy psychology, fleet coordination, and timing. Alien morale crumbled as humans maintained unbroken control, the once feared fleet now helpless under human orchestration. Even as the humans pressed their advantage, they maintained ethical restraint, striking only targets that ensured strategic control rather than wanton destruction. This methodical approach further demonstrated their discipline, intelligence, and capacity to command the battlefield. Each success reinforced the humans' reputation for tactical brilliance, their ability to combine planning with execution in a seamless display of power. Alien ships that survived had no choice but to surrender or retreat, and the outcome became inevitable. By the end of the engagement, humans had not only neutralized immediate threats, but had reshaped the battlefield entirely in their favor. Alien leaders recognized the futility of further resistance. Their assumptions of superiority, their expectation of fear, and their overconfidence had been completely shattered. Humans had demonstrated the full extent of their strategic and technological prowess, and the remaining alien forces were left with no option but to comply, retreat, or accept defeat. Every move on the battlefield had highlighted human adaptability, precision, and unmatched tactical coordination, leaving a clear and lasting impression of their dominance. The surviving alien commanders struggled to comprehend the scale of the defeat. Their fleets scattered, command structures shattered, and critical systems disabled. They had underestimated humanity completely, and the consequences were clear. Humans moved with controlled efficiency, securing key positions, monitoring every alien movement, and ensuring no opportunity for regrouping or counterattack. Their precision and discipline left no room for chaos. Every decision made by humans was deliberate, calculated, and perfectly executed. The aliens, once confident and arrogant, were now forced into submission by strategy, patience, and superior coordination. Human forces continued to secure the battlefield, isolating alien ships, neutralizing any remaining threats, and monitoring energy signatures to prevent surprises. Even in victory, humans maintained remarkable control and restraint, targeting only what was necessary to maintain dominance and stability. They demonstrated that overwhelming power need not be chaotic or destructive when paired with intelligence and discipline. Alien crews, exhausted and demoralized, realized that their assumptions about human weakness, politeness, and patience had been completely wrong. Every miscalculation had been exploited, and every opportunity for escape or retaliation had been foreseen. The alien leaders began to retreat or surrender, acknowledging humanity's absolute superiority. Some ships attempted to flee, but humans allowed controlled withdrawal only in areas where they could monitor and manage escape routes. Every surrender was coordinated to minimize further conflict while maintaining authority. Humans offered no unnecessary mercy, but neither did they waste resources on destruction. Their actions were measured, strategic, and designed to cement their reputation as disciplined and unstoppable. The aftermath revealed the extent of human planning and foresight. Every observation, every subtle move during diplomacy, and every moment of apparent calm had been part of a larger strategy. The aliens realized too late that the peaceful interactions, gifts, and polite gestures had been tools for reconnaissance, preparation, and tactical advantage. Human patience had lured them into a false sense of security, allowing humans to study weaknesses, anticipate reactions, and position forces perfectly. The galaxy had never seen a victory so complete yet so precise, combining technology, strategy, and psychology into one decisive outcome. News of the victory spread rapidly, first among surviving alien forces and then across neighboring systems. The story of humans arriving with apparent calm, pretending to seek peace, and then revealing unmatched firepower and flawless strategy became a legend. It demonstrated that patience, observation, and preparation could be as deadly as raw strength, and that humans could turn expectations against any opponent. Even those who had never faced humans directly now regarded them with caution and awe. The reputation of humanity as patient, calculating, and overwhelmingly capable grew instantly, reshaping perceptions across the galaxy. Humans did not gloat or boast. Their calm professionalism continued even after victory. They secured vital systems, ensured stability, and established protocols to prevent further chaos. Every surviving alien crew was monitored and controlled, ensuring that the victory would not be challenged again. Humans demonstrated that their strength lay not only in technology, but in discipline, strategy, and the ability to predict and manipulate enemy behavior. Their combination of preparation, observation, and decisive action became the benchmark for effective warfare in the galaxy. The alien commanders who survived were left to reflect on their mistakes. Their overconfidence, misreading of human intentions, and dismissal of intelligence reports had led to catastrophic failure. Every assumption of control had been turned against them. Every expectation of fear and submission had been shattered. The humans' ability to combine diplomacy, subtle observation, and overwhelming force had proven too much for even the most experienced alien strategists. The lesson was clear. Underestimating humanity could lead to complete and total defeat. Even as humans consolidated their position, they left a clear message. They did not destroy everything, but they demonstrated their ability to control, dominate, and enforce strategy flawlessly. The aftermath of the conflict served as a warning across systems, illustrating that calm, patience, and preparation were not signs of weakness, but the marks of a calculated, unbeatable force. Humanity's victory was not merely military, but psychological, reshaping how entire civilizations viewed them. By the end, the battlefield told a story of discipline, intelligence, and unmatched coordination. Humans had achieved victory with precision rather than chaos, restraint rather than recklessness. Every alien officer who survived knew that they had faced an opponent unlike any other. The humans had arrived under the guise of peace, observed with patience, and struck with perfection, leaving a legacy that would influence strategy, diplomacy, and warfare across the galaxy for generations. Every move, every calm gesture, and every calculated strike had proven that humanity's patience and preparation were the deadliest weapons of all.